Viewers, Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi, in a telling Financial Times interview, admitted that the Congress party's only hope to wrest power lies in mass mobilization to build street pressure to ostensibly eject Modi out of power and effect change. In fact, he casually even refers to this recipe for anarchy as a game. If you please, viewers, those were his exact words. Game. Let me take you through his exact quote now. Viewers, Rahul Gandhi says India's democracy is under siege from systematic vote rigging, and the Congress party's strategy is to challenge the integrity of India's electoral system by building public pressure. We are playing the game of mass mobilization. That's the only way we have. Let me just take you over these words once more, viewers, in case you missed them. Very interesting part. Rahul Gandhi says, and this is very, very crucial, the Congress party's strategy is to challenge the integrity of India's electoral system. The integrity, viewers. He has a problem with the integrity. The fact that the election system throws up accurate results. How can anyone want to challenge the integrity of a system? Viewers, to allege state capture by suggesting, viewers, that mass mobilization is his only hope is a serious business. And proof is a prerequisite. But has Rahul Gandhi been able to produce any to back his claims? No. Even the Financial Times report says it didn't believe. He had evidence to back his claims. Can you believe it, viewers? We're going to tighten my screen and we're going to go, viewers, and look at this quote very, very closely. This is the Financial Times assessment of Rahul Gandhi's claim. It says, and I quote, Gandhi and the Congress party did not provide evidence to show who was behind the alleged manipulation or that it was on a scale large enough to affect elections results. Unquote. This is the FT's own assessment of Rahul Gandhi's massive claim, viewers, and admission. Perhaps it's the lack of proof that stops Rahul Gandhi from approaching India's top court with the proof. It was a startling concession and a confession, rather. Rather than demonstrate evidence of systematic vote rigging, as the FT itself pointed out, Rahul has chosen to gamble on democracy, viewers, and plumb for mobocracy. This is what Rahul Gandhi has said in the past. So I'm not talking in thin air. I'm now going to quote him. In just the last 1 month, he has said, viewers, the youth of the country and the students of the country, the Gen Z of the country will save the constitution, protect democracy, and stop vote theft. I always stand with them. Viewers, the only way Gen Z can save democracy is to go to the ballot box and vote, not challenge the integrity of the poll process. Another Congress leader, Udit Raj, says people are discussing the way in which the public has uprooted power in Nepal, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. Could something like that not happen in India? Some people are even expressing the possibility of it happening. In fact, the circumstances are just the same, and in some cases, even more so. He is being even more explicit, viewers, than Rahul Gandhi. He is actually saying, uproot power. Pooja Tripathi, a Congress spokesperson, says Gen Z is not just the future of democracy. They are its mirror. Impatient with hypocrisy. The way Gen Z used meme culture to ask questions to Election Commission post-vote chori is a silent revolution in itself. You know, these are some of the statements by invoking uprisings in Nepal, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. Congress is not speaking the language of democracy but of disruption. This is a party that has historically turned to chaos whenever the ballot box rejected it, whether during the emergency or through engineered agitations. Rahul Gandhi's reliance on, quote, the mob, unquote, betrays not confidence in India's institutions, but a desperate bid to delegitimize them. And that's what the BJP is claiming today, viewers. And it's not as if these words are being spoken into the vacuum. Look at the pictures on the right. These people are said to be, viewers, Gen Z, not my words, Sonam Wangchuk's words, the person who was orchestrating this particular riot in Ladakh in late today, viewers. Anyhow, viewers, Shahzad Poonawala of the Bharatiya Janata Party has come out and said Rahul's problem is not ECI but it's EMI, which stands for entitled mindset to Indira's grandson. Rahul Gandhi is acting more like a leader of Pakistan LOP, as only such an anti-national would challenge the integrity of India's electoral system, unquote. Rahul Gandhi's critics do have a point. Think about it. If the leader of the opposition places faith in street fury like this, viewers, over constitutional process, is he leading a democratic opposition or inviting anarchy into India's streets? Remember, the Congress supported the Shaheen Bagh protests. They supported the farmers' agitation. This prompts several questions. If Rahul Gandhi truly has proof of systematic vote rigging, why did neither he nor the Congress present any evidence to the Financial Times? Viewers, that's the baseline question. Financial Times itself is saying it, and let's open this up because I don't want to stand between us, viewers, and the facts any further, or even the panel. And I want to begin with the Congress supporter here, Professor Akashdeep Muni. Professor Muni, it's a simple question. Rahul Gandhi makes an admission. He goes out there and says, I'll come to that a little later. But he just says that, you see, democracy is under siege from systematic vote rigging. The Financial Times itself says that there was no proof. He did not provide evidence to show who was behind the alleged manipulation or that it was on a large scale enough to affect elections results. So if he doesn't, why doesn't he?
See, Rahulji, you have read the news properly, I'm sure, and you are an impartial journalist. Now, he did say, and I quote, that this country will not accept a rigged election. Whatever you are saying, that has been paraphrased by the author of that article. There was no quotation there. So you or neither I cannot vouch that he has said it. From where questioning election, now I am unable to understand from when questioning election process is against Indian state. He is the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, asking some tough questions to the government. Just that, it's his job. And when you say that he is doing Sena ka virod, he is doing Supreme Court ka virod, I am sure you are talking about Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, who said that it is Modi ji ki Sena who referring to the army. Or Madhya Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister Jagdish, that the country's army soldiers bow at the feet of Prime Minister Modi.
Two wrongs make a right.
No, of course not.
So then
but
1 minute. Professor, I am not... Listen, hang on. Professor, please. Since you have pointed out certain errors in my reportage, let me just read out exactly what the FT has said. Gandhi and the Congress party did not provide evidence to show who was behind the alleged manipulation or that it was on a scale large enough to affect elections results, unquote. This is a very serious charge, sir. To allege state capture of institutions is a very serious business. The consequences are even more serious. You've seen the consequences in Pakistan, in Sri Lanka, in Bangladesh, in Nepal. I'm sure somebody with the sagacity of Rahul Gandhi, leader of opposition no less, holding a constitutional post, would at least back his claims with proof, Akashdeep Saab. This is the FT's own opinion. Now, FT is not a Modi-controlled newspaper. It has no love for Modi. It is very much a Western presentation. The Financial Times, Not owned by
Rahulji,
Indians,
you are going
not
by the
owned by
Financial
any
Times.
media business conglomerate, not owned by any crony capitalists. It's the Financial Times we're talking about. They have come to this conclusion. The journalists there have asked him to substantiate, and there, in their opinion, are saying Gandhi and Congress party did not provide evidence. Now, the Congress is the first to point out from the Financial Times, the Economist, the New York Times, when there is criticism of Mr. Modi. Today, when the same papers are actually challenging him on not being able to provide the evidence, people like you are saying that we are twisting their words.
No, sir. Listen to
I'm
me.
asking you, why would the Financial Times say this? Please answer.
I'll tell that in this particular reportage, it may happen that Financial Times was not accustomed to the data that Rahul Gandhi has.
हाँ, वो तो मूर्ख है ना सर.
But
Financial Times, sir, excuse me,
I'll
Financial Times journalists
See,
go
Financial
over
Times
reams
can have
of
n
balance
number of
sheets,
opinions.
extremely complicated financial numbers. And are you
Anybody can
telling me
have
they can't
n number of
understand something that
opinions.
Rahul Gandhi made in a PPT presentation?
Sir, anybody can have n number of opinions, but the most important thing is that in 2018, Karnataka Chief Electoral Officer admitted the deletion of lakhs of voters. What Rahul Gandhi is pointing, and I'm
Sir,
quoting the
please
electoral officer. There may have
do not misquote, and misrepresent
I'm not
facts.
misquoting,
No,
I'm
no,
quoting.
excuse me.
You can
This is
challenge
what was
me.
said. No,
It is in public
hang on,
domain.
sir, please. The Karnataka State EC inquired, in the Election Commission inquired into this entire process. And of some 8,000 voters whose names were deleted, it turned out that only some handful of them were legitimate cases. You know this, the facts have been presented by the Election Commission. And so far, the Congress has not challenged those facts. So please do not misrepresent facts, sir. I implore you. But let me just flip this. 1 minute. Let me flip this. Professor Muni, I want to ask you a question. And this is something that you need to answer me. Congress has formed governments in Telangana, in the state of Karnataka, and Himachal under the same commission. Bengal, TMC is returned 3 times to power under the same commission. AAP has won Punjab. AAP won Delhi, the capital, the prize prestige contest. Not once, but 3 times effectively. I'm asking you, how is this possible?
Rahulji, there is always scope of development. And even the Honorable Supreme Court has
Please,
said...
I'm asking you this question. If the
greater
election,
transparency.
okay, you don't believe that? Tell me something. Would
believe
any
the
prime
Supreme
minister fix an election so he comes second? So he would not get across the line.
See,
You'd have to be a foolish person to defeat your own self. It's like someone taking farras for an exam, let's say a Sanskrit exam, but ending up taking farras for a maths exam. कोई ऐसा करता है सर? और अगर करता है तो वो तो एकदम ही, they must be absolutely moronic.
By your logic, are you saying the Honorable Supreme Court to be foolish? I'm
Sir,
questioning you.
I'm only asking you a question. What are you twisting my
I'll
words
quote the
for?
Honorable
The
Supreme
question
Court.
is this: why don't you go to the Supreme Court then? If it's if it's such a counsel of wisdom according to you, why don't Rahul Gandhi and company go and show their proof in the Supreme Court?
Very good question. Very good question. Now let me answer.
Yes.
The Congress went to the Supreme Court on the Haryana issue, on which the Honorable Supreme Court asked the EC to put on the CCTV footages. उसके बाद क्या हुआ कि ना कि EC
Excuse me, the Supreme Court even upheld the EC's submissions of the CCTV footage. I'm not talking about the CCTV footage. I am talking about the data that Rahul Gandhi alleges that he has, which he never shows, not even to the Financial Times. Why doesn't he go? Present this data.
भाई सुप्रीम कोर्ट गए थे, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बोला कि ना कि भाई सीसीटीवी फुटेज दिखा दो, इसी को बोला. तो इसी ने रूल्स चेंज कर दिए कि
viewers, these people, this ecosystem of anarchists, and let's just call them out for what they are, only trust the Supreme Court when the Supreme Court rules in their favor. Otherwise, everything, viewers, for them is rigged. They were saying that, in fact, even about the Supreme Court. till the Supreme Court ruled in their favor and struck down, viewers, the electoral bond scheme. After that, the Supreme Court became this great institution of rectitude. This is a fact. Anyhow, I don't want to dominate this conversation by pointing out the inconsistencies of the professor's arguments, each one of them inexplaining, not being able to explain the fundamental question I asked: why has the independent journalist of the Financial Times written there that Rahul Gandhi could not substantiate his claims by adducing evidence?
The independent journalists have written many other things also.
So there you go, viewers. Now you attack those journalists also. आप ऐसे करो ना सर, आप अपने ही journalists वहाँ appoint कर दो. Why don't you take your own journalists, all those lovely journalists who write brilliant editorials, waxing eloquent about Rahul Gandhi's suitability for the next 30 generations to rule this country? Why don't you take them and get them jobs in the FT? It's not beyond you, let me tell you that. I know of certain journalists, sir, who used to take chapter and verse dictation from the Congress party. One was even sacked. He was the top editor who was taking a dictation from a corporate house. For God's sakes, don't tell me about that. I've been around for 20, 30 years now. 30 years. I was 20 when I started this profession. I worked under many editors and I know exactly how much rectitude those editors had. And Sanjeev Srivastava will know. He's seen me as a cub reporter. Anyhow, I want to go straight across to the BJP national spokesperson, Ms. Sarangi. Ms. Sarangi, the fact of the matter is, and you know, Rahul Gandhi is making all these claims, etc. But the EC today took a cue from something that he said and has now introduced a guardrail, which means that at some level, the EC has something to answer. It's a simple question to you.
A very good evening. At the cost of sounding repetitive, I must remind all of you that Rahul Gandhi happens to be the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha. And this particular position, the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, calls for tremendous sense of responsibility. Now, over a period of time, Rahul Gandhi, from one press conference to the other and also in different public meetings, has been issuing false, malicious and baseless allegations. And we are all well aware of the fact that these are false, baseless and malicious allegations, because ultimately these are all contributing towards weakening our democracy. It's a deliberate attempt to weaken the democracy, one. And number two, somehow you have a feeling that he's trying to have a state of anarchy in the country, and that's why he's issuing these statements without any proof. Now, as the leader of the opposition, it is his job chart, it is in his job chart to actually attack Prime Minister Modi's policies and of course the Bharatiya Janata Party's way of working. Fine, well and good, we accept that. He can speak against Prime Minister Modi, he can speak against the Bharatiya Janata Party's activities, but he just cannot target or attack the constitutional bodies like the Parliament, the Election Commission or the Supreme Court or the Constitution as such. You know, saying we save the Constitution and all that. I fail to understand why is this gentleman trying to behave
Sarangi,
in
I
such
asked
an
a different question
manner.
of you. Like of the professor, I'm not getting
a
a straight answer. The Election Commission has come out and introduced a guardrail. A guardrail only after Rahul Gandhi questioned the deletions of voters in various lists. Why would the Election Commission have to do this post facto?
I will give you an example. He talked about Aland, the assembly constituency in Karnataka. I'll just give you one example. The assembly constituency in Karnataka. Now, let me tell you that on 6th of September 2023, the Election Commission gave all information to SP Kalburgi. You can verify the statement of mine. Now, thereafter, the CID, now Rahul Gandhi has been saying CID of the state did not function. Now, it is his government in Karnataka. Why didn't the CID function? On the information provided by the Election Commission. This is one. I just gave you an example. Number two, where is the proof? Where is the evidence? Whatever written in the Financial Times, I completely agree to that. I say with all conviction at my command that Rahul Gandhi has failed to provide any kind of proof, any kind of evidence whatsoever to actually establish his claim and to actually, prove his credibility. So I think this is something which all of us must realize. This is one Kalburgi example which I wanted to give to you. This is very much before you. Rafale, take the case of Rafale. Now the same kind of situation Rahul Gandhi had created in the country. I mean, I am a member of the Lok Sabha. What an uproar within the Lok Sabha and outside the Lok Sabha, creating disruptions in the proceedings of the parliament. And thereafter, you know what he did, he apologized before the Supreme Court. Article 370, again, the double bench actually reprimanded him and he had no face to show. So I think this is another, now the Bihar elections are there, this is another antic of his. I would say with all politeness.
Let me just put it on record, viewers, that the Election Commission had to take corrective steps. There's no denying that. After Rahul Gandhi at least flagged one concern. So clearly there was something amiss there, which now the Election Commission has rectified. Whether it had an impact, again, let me once again paraphrase the FT. Because today I'm only going to paraphrase other people who have gone over the claims. Whether that disruption or those deletions were on a scale large enough to affect election results is not known. Because in the seat that he is talking about, Aland, for example, in Karnataka, it was the Congress candidate that won after a decade or more, in fact. But Sanjeev Srivastavji, I just want to come out to you. You see, the proof of the pudding is in its eating. Rahul Gandhi says Gen Z will settle the issue at some point or the other. That's what he has said in his quotes that I have read out and his sound bites. But Gen Z has voted for the BJP in 2019, in 2024. CSDS data says that double the number of voters between 18 and 25 vote for the BJP than they do for the Congress. And most recently, on 2 campuses, sir, in Hyderabad, which was a coming to power of the BJP student wing after 7 or 8 years, and of course in Delhi University, where they won 3 out of 4 of the positions of consequence. So I want to ask you, if Gen Z was listening to this message and was swayed by the argument, surely by now we would be seeing the inclination of the Gen Z being expressed at the ballot box. Why is that not happening? And in Bihar, sir, the Congress loses. Would we say that this particular campaign lacked the traction because it lacked, most importantly, credibility?
So, Rahul, very good evening.
Sir.
And I don't know where from should I start. So, it's very interesting to see that you and a lot of others are today attributing and quoting from the Financial Times report when their report's slant and stance does give an occasion to criticize Rahul Gandhi. But all those reports in the past when we and all the media used to trash New York Times, Washington Post, Economist when they were critical of the government. So this is a welcome relief that suddenly a Western publication has come out in criticism of the leader of opposition. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, I think I do not by any standard say that Rahul Gandhi is some apostle of wisdom or everything which he says makes a lot of sense, and that he does come across as somebody who can say very, very wise things, and in the next second he can come up with a completely a faux pas and put his foot in the mouth. It happens with him. So that's a point one concedes. But 2, 3 very important points, one of which you alluded to just now when you were asking a question to the BJP spokesperson, that post Rahul Gandhi's press conference, whether anybody, whatever one says, Election Commission, in your own words, had to guardrail. So there were certain things which they needed to make the system more foolproof, more secure. Why can't they admit in so many words? Why can't they just call Rahul Gandhi, sit across the table with him, or actually announce an inquiry. The other thing is that it is Rahul Gandhi in his press conference said that he cannot be an institution or an individual to safeguard democracy or be an investigating agency himself. He, as an opposition leader, if he has certain proof, not all or not in entirety, he is completely free and within his right. And as somebody who holds 100 MPs while BJP holds 240, so he represents 20% of the Indian electorate or 20% of the parliament. He has a right to make allegations, and he expects the institutions to hold an inquiry and come out with the truth. When the institutions try and stonewall, then if Rahul Gandhi says something, we come out and say he's spreading anarchy. What was India against corruption doing? Was it not spreading anarchy? Most of those charges have fallen flat. What was all the 2G, 3G things happened? Nothing came out of it, whatever Vinod Rai and CAG said who were heroes at that time. So this is politics, Rahul, and you know it as much as I do. You are such a veteran now and one of the more respected journalists. I have great regard and, if I can say so, affection for you. But the issue is that we can't be selective. Okay. Rahul Gandhi is not always smelling of roses or saying the right things.
Sure, but
to always keep dismissing him as some kind of a maverick.
No, I understand. No one is doing that, sir. No one is
irresponsible
doing that.
person. No.
See, I've been very balanced.
He represents 100 MPs.
Of course, no doubt. I've been very balanced.
I'm not talking about you.
I asked Aparitija the question that everyone is asking today, that the Election Commission has made certain course correction. But just on that point, so you made 4 points, and I just want to quickly reply to those, because one or two of them were calling out the media's hypocrisy, certainly a media that some people say is sympathetic to Modi ji. So number one, I just want to make a small, quick one. The difference in this particular context, why is Rahul Shivshankar invoking the Financial Times today, whose journalism I don't put on any pedestal. They do a good job, I'm sure, of financial news, etc. Political commentary, one could say, can be sometimes biased, this, that, the other. There's no doubt about that. We've been long enough in this profession to know that certain people bring in a subjective slant to some things. But the difference this time is that Rahul Gandhi went to the FT. The FT is not gratuitously making an inference. They asked him that you're making a very serious allegation purportedly against the Prime Minister, because in his conversations with them, he said that someone right at the very top, now he could be either talking about Gyaneshwar, the Chief Election Commissioner, or of course, Prime Minister Modi. He didn't clarify that, but right at the top. Now, obviously, if you're making a strong allegation against someone, a media house, to protect itself from libel, etc., will say, okay, on what basis are you making these allegations? And to obviously safeguard their own interests, they said that we looked at this material that supposedly was adduced or not adduced, and we found that it may not be substantive enough to completely vitiate the election process nationally. So that is their conclusion. Let's park that aside. That's the only reason if Rahul Gandhi had not given an interview to the FT and they had made certain claims against him, I don't think I would be doing that debate, because that would have been their selective judgment. But let's put that aside. I hope that answers you. Secondly, sir, you see, you said that why doesn't the Election Commission, why didn't it go and hold an inquiry? In fact, sir, the matter that Rahul Gandhi is referring to in Aland, where there were vote deletions, I think about 8,500 votes were deleted. A political analyst sitting here who goes into the minutiae, Rajat Sethi, may correct me on the exact number. So they went over these allegations, they held an inquiry. Those deletions, they said, were being affected. But they realized that a majority, 95% of those deletions were fake. And those people's votes were not removed, their names were not removed from the electoral rolls. Some 500-600 people, or maybe even less, I think it was just a handful, 2-3 dozen in fact, were valid deletions, and those were inquired into. But to be extra careful, the EC now has introduced those guardrails saying that, listen, even if you approach through phone, you have to give your Aadhaar, it has to be through a mobile link to Aadhaar. So they have added that guardrail. Whether that is an inference on the EC or not, I'm sorry, sir, on that particular issue, it's not, because they did hold an inquiry. Third, yes, Rahul Gandhi is within his rights, sir, no doubt, to critique. He's the leader of the opposition. His job is not to nod along with the Prime Minister and the Treasury benches. Of course, it's not. But he must also, on a serious charge like this, adduce the proof in the right forum. It's good to go out in front of the media, show these files, but then take it to the logical conclusion. You can't then say that, sorry, I'm now leaving it in the hands of the Gen Z to decide what to do it with. This is where I feel there's a problem.
Can I just very quickly
Yeah, of course.
say, it would be ideal. It would be ideal if Rahul Gandhi has all the proof. But it is also completely understandable that he cannot have all the proof.
I agree with you.
If he is suspicious and if he is reasonably sure about his suspicion, he can raise that issue on public
forum. He has
forum.
raised the issue.
And
but
there
to
is
take
nothing
it to the
wrong.
logical conclusion, the EC
and
says...
there is nothing wrong,
no,
Rahul,
nothing wrong,
further.
Nothing wrong, sir.
By
nothing
questioning
wrong.
the...
Also,
there is nothing wrong by questioning the institutions
nothing
of the country.
Wrong. We all question the Supreme Court from time to time. We all question the EC. We all question CVC. We question the CBI, the ED.
Nothing
nothing. No one is saying that. I have not said that, sir. I have not said that. But Rajat Sethi,
Income Tax Department,
okay, fair enough. All absolutely, sir, kosher. But you can't then toss the ball out.
My limited point is that these institutions should issue pointed rebuttals and prove Rahul Gandhi wrong.
So, Rajat Sethi,
that will restore their
has
credibility.
The election commission,
not me and you discussing.
Has election commission issued, just I'm asking you objectively, Rajat Sethi, have they issued point by point rebuttals to what Rahul Gandhi has said? Number one. Number two, Rahul Gandhi says you have to show the documents to us. The EC is saying, no, we will not show them to you. Who are you? You're a political party. This will pave the way for anarchy, lawfare. Go to the courts. Go to the Supreme Court. We'll submit it to the Supreme Court. Let the higher judge, because even if I submit it tomorrow, you might twist and mangle that documentation, throw it up there and spin it into something else, and you still won't believe me, which they don't. So why don't we go to a neutral arbiter like a court? Is there something wrong in asking for that?
So, Rahul, I'll just take a step back.
Yeah.
See, there is absolutely no doubt that election process requires reforms. I can suggest, and I have been managing elections for the past decade, I can tell you so many ways in which the election and the election commission and the reforms and the processes require real brainstorming, but casting aspersions on the entire institution, calling out the chief election commissioner, who is a pillar of our constitution, it's a constitutional body, name calling him. Okay, and then claiming that we have our people, quote unquote, inside the election commission. Is he trying to say that election commission is now full of Congress karyakartas who are leaking information? So, you need to decide. If you want to make it a personal battle, people would want you to give things in writing, go to the courts and follow the due process. If you are genuinely well-intentioned that, yes, the process is flawed and the process has perpetually been flawed, and these are the set of reforms that I want to take to the Election Commission, I'm sure the Election Commission will give you a patient hearing. See, the problem is this the issue that the electoral rolls, the way things are, is the creation of Prime Minister Modi, and during the time, he has influenced some decision? That is the aspersion that you're casting here. You are actually putting acid onto the roots of an institution which so far, even when we had ballot papers and ballot papers used to be stuffed and all of that, nobody said, pan-India, the elections are rigged. This is why what he's doing is absolutely sinister.
Okay.
You're pouring acid onto the roots of the fundamental of our democracy, and then you want to call out the Gen Z to come on and hit the roads. Let me give you a final caveat here. Had there been even a single village where the election process, where beyond reasonable doubt he would have established that rigging has happened, I'm telling you today, the citizens of this country across party lines would have been hitting the streets in his support. They would not be waiting for the election commission or any other institution to take care of the process. But the real problem is that he has till date has no evidences whatsoever. In fact, in the words of Rahul Gandhi, recently he said in Maharashtra he did not have tangible proof. This entire story around election rigging started in Maharashtra election because it came out as a rude shock to him that his party was wiped out. It is then he started with this conjecture that I believe that the elections are rigged. But he could not, in his own submission, that he could not produce any evidence. Even now, my point is, if you have anything tangible, sit first of all, since this is a decentralized process, you need to sit with your karyakartas who sit on the booth. A booth member who has that list knows very well, are there fake voters, are the voters registered there? Have you ever sat with those karyakartas who are right at the grassroots, and have those karyakartas ever raised a process, ever raised a doubt
Well,
on the veracity of these lists?
that is
The
an
answer
important
no.
point. Why
You cannot
after the
retrospectively
event?
say that centralized body, prime minister sitting at the very top, can singularly, in a centralized manner, rig the entire election of this state,
Yeah, well,
of the country. That's not possible.
That's a very good point. Why, as an afterthought, why not before you get 2-3 months to go over the electoral rolls and all the presumptive changes that have been made? And let me tell you, viewers, one of the reasons that Rahul Gandhi may not, I don't know, may not be going to the Supreme Court is because when he has gone, let's say on the Rafale matter, the Supreme Court has ruled against him. When he has gone in the Pegasus matter through some of the Congress party's own MPs or lawyers, that didn't kind of pan out in their particular favor. When he talked about EVMs, how they were being manipulated, etc. Now, all that conversation of EVMs is gone. Now it's about electoral rolls. Then it was, viewers, about EVM tampering. Look at how the goalpost has changed. To call into question what? The electoral process. To do what, viewers? To make people feel that they're disenfranchised, and that really hurts because that was the first thing that India succeeded in doing at a universal level. No other democracy started out as a democracy giving every human being and every citizen in their country a vote. India did that. So the best way to shake the confidence of the people is to make them believe that that very right of theirs, that first right of theirs, privileged right, is being snatched. And that, viewers, I believe, requires Rahul Gandhi to go beyond innuendo. He has to go to the court. If he is not going to the court, there's a problem. I want to move on because, viewers, there is another very disturbing aspect that I want to focus on today. You're going to see 3 videos on your screen. These are 3 separate incidents. Abuse was hurled at the Prime Minister's mother, the vilest abuse, viewers. I can't even tell you the language that was used. First, on the extreme left from an RJD Congress stage. Then, viewers, in the middle you are seeing pictures of Tejasvi Yadav standing next to an individual in a white shirt who is asking the crowd to do what? Encouraging them to use and repeat even more gross language, misogynistic language, viewers, against the Prime Minister's mother. And on the extreme right is the latest, 3 or 4 days back, viewers, in a motorcycle rally organized by the RJD, these people who are being interviewed are openly on camera abusing the Prime Minister's mother. Just days after the Congress cadre hurled the vilest abuse, viewers, upon the Prime Minister's mothers. As I said, it's kind of happened again. The Prime Minister's mother has been abused for the 4th time, with RJD cadre openly using the vilest and most misogynistic abuses. Little wonder the BJP is calling out what it is now referring to as gutter level politics. Shehzad Poonawalla says once again Prime Minister Modi's mother has been abused. This is the 4th instance. Is this a sanyog? No. Maa ka apman India Alliance ki pehchan. But politics must draw its legitimacy from moral ground, not just provocation. When satire targets those alive and in the political contest, it might spark debate. The Prime Minister, for example, uses the word Shehzada, which is an attempt to draw attention to nepotism in the Congress, which is the antithesis of merit-based progression. The Prime Minister's use of satirical adjectives to address Sonia Gandhi have either been a tit-for-tat response or in the context of a larger political narrative. Both Rahul and Sonia Gandhi hold political office and are drivers of policy. The Prime Minister's mother was never in politics. She had nothing to do with politics. She didn't influence the course of the country's democratic or political history in any way. And worse, viewers, she is no longer around to defend herself. Beyond this, the choice of abuse is hugely disrespectful to all women. The abuses are almost 100% misogynistic and incite sexual violence against women. Is the Congress and RJD now mainlining misogyny to consolidate its mostly male vote bank using patriarchal allusions? That's the fundamental question I'm asking. And I want to begin this conversation with Shyam Kumar, spokesperson of the RJD. Sir, I don't want to talk about the kind of abuse, and I hope you don't mention those words, but they are all against the agency of women. The words that are being used are highly misogynistic and are very violent. आपको पता होगा, sir. You know those words. They're very violent. Are you against women to the extent that you are going to mainstream this kind of invective, sir? ठीक है, इतनी प्रॉब्लम है, गाली दो, आदमियों को भी तो गाली दो. Only women are being singled out. And this by a party, the RJD, whose own leader was a female, a chief minister, Rabdi Devi, and an alliance partner, president of the UPA was a woman, and Rahul Gandhi's sister is a woman, and she talks about ladki hu, lad sakti hu. Sir, in your parties, women are being, completely denigrated using misogynistic labels. How does this speak, sir, of your commitment to women welfare?
No, one thing, Rahul ji, it's very clear that our party stand is always clear that we do not, like such comments and remarks against anybody, whether under Prime Minister mother, whether it is Chief Minister mother, whether even single individual mother. We respect all, men, women, everyone, because we believe in the politics of dignity, because dignity is a prime objective. Let me remind you, in that rally, that what has happened, he was not a Karyakarta, activist of our party, not directly linked. Any rally is an open platform. You must have seen in the Darbhanga also, the Mr. That Muhammad Rizvi is behind the bar. So if you go into the detail, that you will find that their roots may be found in some conspiracy as well. That our politics, our effort at this point is a larger objective to build Bihar. You must have seen in couple of months and year in fact that all surveys is showing that the Yashvi Yadav Sahab is becoming rising star in the Bihar politics. Entire narratives has been said. So what I would like to establish, Rahul ji, 1 second, then you will proceed further. That anybody that who has done this kind, given such remarks, law should take its course. We are not going to defend such person. They are not the part of our party, our Mahagathbandhan, nothing else. Go as per law, what it says. But I would like to establish again, we respect all. We respect everyone. I tell you, but one point, if you see after 2012 and 14 onwards, the kind of linguistic kind of language in the politics has, developed. You are also well aware. You have already.
But Shyamji, the Prime Minister's mother is not a politician. She was not in politics. That is what I am trying to say. Unko to baksh do. I can understand. Chalo, theek hai. Between political rivals, you might descend into the gutter. Chalo, theek hai. It's at least a fight of equals. वो गाली देगा, आप गाली देंगे, एक दूसरे को गाली देते रहेंगे. ठीक है. At least it will be a fight between people who have a stake in politics. The Prime Minister's mother has no stake in politics. She has passed away. And you are tolerating this. There is Tejasvi Yadav sitting there, standing right there in a pink shirt. Next to him is one second. Next to him is a leader wearing one second, sir. Next to him is standing a leader in a pink t-shirt, in a white t-shirt on his left. And he's encouraging the crowd to use these dirty words. Misogynistic abuses.
The whole clipping is available, Rahul ji.
Sir,
no, you must look at the whole picture. Let me tell you, he is not part of the RJD. I tell you very frankly.
So what is he doing standing next to Tejasvi Yadav? Why is he standing next to Tejasvi Yadav?
Whose government is there in Bihar, Rahul ji?
Okay, one second. Why is he standing on the stage with Tejasvi Yadav?
Don't set narrative. Law must take its course. Whoever has passed such remarks, RJD has no link, no connection. Okay. I tell you.
Okay. No connections. We have no connection. Very quick. Aprajita Sarangi, respond. They have no connection. They wash their hands of these people. Why are you making such a song and dance? People have gate crashed their rally.
See, being a woman, I am ashamed of the behavior of these people. First, it was in Darbhanga. From the munch of the Congress workers hurled abuses at Prime Minister's mother. And then thereafter it was in Samastipur and now in Patna. Everywhere they have been taking recourse to this kind of behavior, and I can only say that they have stooped to an unprecedented low. See, the point is, why are you hurling abuses at Prime Minister's mother? Just to hurt the Prime Minister? They don't realize because that through this behavior they are actually injuring their own electoral prospects. The people of Bihar will never ever actually, pardon these people because of this behavior. Rajendra Prasad belonged to Bihar, and I was going through some of the quotations from Sri Rajendra Prasad ji, and you know what he had said? Heaven lies at the feet of the mother. I am quoting Rajendra Prasad, our first president. And this he belonged to Bihar, and these people all working for the seat of Bihar government behaving in such a manner. I think this is pathetic, and I can only say that they have all stooped to an unprecedented low. The people of Bihar are watching, the entire nation is watching, and they will never be pardoned.
Okay, Rajat Sethi, will this become an election
They should
issue?
refrain from this kind of behavior.
Do you think, Rajat Sethi, you're a political observer, do you think this is going to, this kind of vile invective that is being hurled at the Prime Minister's mother, who is not in politics, was never in politics and is not amongst us, do you think this will become an issue that will work in the mind of the voters when they go out to actually cast a ballot? Because Amit Shah on this channel, speaking to Rahul Joshi, came out and said that this election will be a referendum on Gali politics.
So in my understanding, I think any kind of a swing voter which was sitting at the fence and trying to say that should we give Tejaswi and his party one chance, that would be swayed away. Because, see, a lot of your viewers would be intrigued as to why is this happening that somebody is abusing and Tejaswi is not coming into action and firing people left, right and center. The reason is, this is the character of the party. This is the cross section, the body politic of RJD Congress combined. They have to allow these lumpen elements to go full blast into what they can do well. This is how they tend to energize their base. See, this has been a party where Tejaswi might want to bring in some kind of modern thought, but the remaining part of it remains the very same. It is the same Gunda party which has been there, the same Jungle Raj party. How can you overnight change the character of that party? That cannot happen. And this is why Tejaswi will not step in and try to stop it. And, and while in my understanding, it is not going to upset the base, his base of Muslim Yadav remains intact. No doubt about it, equally energized and everything. But anybody, especially the youngsters and young women voters, who might want to be sitting on the edge and trying to decide that should they give charge to a young potential CM face, they would refrain.
Well, let me also tell you, viewers, that it's not exactly as if the RJD is very representative of women. So, viewers, apart from Rabri Devi, whose elevation as Bihar's chief minister was also because she was brought in as a proxy for Lalu Prasad, there has been never at the senior level, viewers, apart from the Lalu family, anyone who has held any office of any significance. This is a fact. So, clearly, it is a male-dominated party. There is no doubt about it.
Rahulji,
yes, sir.
I would like to remind you one thing very clear.
Yeah.
That you should check the facts, data from ground. Bhagwatiya Devi, one name please note down. That how much representation made by the women and how many proxy leaders are in their opposition party. You will not, conduct even single debate. I know you. So please, when you are using such kind of
how many non-Lalu Yadav family women ministers did you have in the last arrangement from the RJD?
So why you are taking one party? You take comparative study. Too many. Bhagwatiya Devi, please note down one
I
name.
have viewers put that fact out there. I have not got a response. Please note for yourselves. Please note for yourself. They are invoking one name. I know who you are talking about, sir. I am not a fool. I know who you are talking about. In fact, that person.
I'm not talking about that aspect.
No, I'm talking about women representation. And this is half the reason, viewers. If there was genuine, empowered women representation, this party would have been better. And this cuts across all political parties. Don't get me wrong here. Some parties do better than others. But this is a party that is actually quite closed off, quite walled off from women. Let me tell you that. And I don't have to even tell you about other Bihar politicians in the JDU who have made all sorts of other kind of remarks against women in the House of Parliament. So I don't want to go there, but I'm just pointing out, viewers, the culture. And therefore, misogyny is being mainstreamed. And that is what hurts today in 21st century India. This is the real issue. Because now we're going to bring you, after this very short break, a very, very interesting and I would say different kind of interaction. Tanishq, the jewelry brand from the Tata Group, has launched one of India's largest gold exchange drives with the support of cricket legend Sachin Tendulkar. The campaign urges households to recycle their existing gold and reduce the country's dependence on imports. That Atmanirbhar Bharat project, after a quick break, how is Sachin involved with the Atmanirbhar Bharat project, and what is Tanishq's role? We're coming right back to that.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
The situation is tensed but under control is what we are being told. Let's quickly go across to Arunima, who's joining us live from the newsroom with more details on that news story. Arunima, if you could take us through what is the Home Ministry's reaction? How is the government monitoring the situation?
Well, so top Home Ministry officials are speaking to the governor of, the Lieutenant Governor of Ladakh. Kavinder Gupta is in touch with the centre, and top Home Ministry officials are analysing the situation. This is what they tell me, that yes, the situation is tense, but it is not out of control. We are sending in, this is what Home Ministry tells me, that they are sending in 4 companies or 4 additional companies of ITBP to Leh, also 4 companies of CRPF which were deployed in Kashmir Valley. They are moving up the national highway as well and reaching Kargil, reaching Leh to ensure that the situation is fast brought under control. Like I told you, their analysis of the situation is, yes, it is tensed, but it can't be called as something which is out of control. Deployment of adequate forces on the ground, flag march by forces on the ground is expected to calm down, tempers and also force protesters to withdraw and get back home. They have been very aggressive. The BJP office there has been set on fire. They've been stone pelting continuously. But once the forces hit the ground and the flag march begins, perhaps there will be more deterrent. That's the analysis here in New Delhi. But they're constantly monitoring the situation. I think Home Minister could also get in touch with the Lieutenant Governor very soon. But top officials definitely are speaking to the local police there, as well as the Governor LG's office to offer whatever help is required, and in the meantime whatever political negotiations are needed to calm down tempers also are being initiated.
So, Arunima, over the past 3 years, Ladakh has been witnessing unrest, so to say. But today we are seeing this sort of situation quickly spiral out of control, especially the problem being that they do not want direct central control. They want control over their land, their resources, their culture. What has led to this spiraling out of the situation?
So let me take you back to August 5th, 2019. That was the day when Jammu and Kashmir was reorganized, when Ladakh was carved out as a special, separate union territory, separate from Jammu and Kashmir. That gave Ladakhis the hope that they will be able to move forward on the path of development faster than what it was when they were part of Jammu and Kashmir, because Srinagar was very...
We have with us Sachin Tendulkar and Ajoy Chawla, CEO, Jewelry Division of Titan Company Limited. I want to begin by asking Mr. Chawla a couple of questions. So Tanishq has come out with an offer. Can you tell us more about this new exchange campaign that Tanishq has launched?
Yeah, this festive season we are actually urging people to bring out their old locker gold and come and upgrade to new designs from Tanishq in a smart manner. It is smart because they don't need to spend extra money on buying new gold and get these beautiful designs. We also think this is a great way to become more self-reliant for India, because we can reduce our imports and really contribute to the self-reliance of the country.
Can you explain, Mr. Chawla, how exchanging old gold helps in making India more self-reliant as the Prime Minister wants?
Yeah, India imports about 99% of the fresh gold requirement every year. Around 750 odd tons of gold comes into the country. We are among the top importers of gold worldwide. And after crude, gold is actually the second biggest commodity that we import into the country. Now, if we were to look at the gold that is lying in the country in lockers of private lockers or temple trusts and so many places, we have 25,000 tons of gold sitting within. If we can increase the amount of exchange gold, the percentage of exchange gold, then directly that much less gold we need to import and thereby save precious foreign exchange. So actually it's a fantastic way in which every single Indian can contribute into the vision of an Atmanirbhar Bharat by simply exchanging their old gold and buying new jewelry this festive season.
Well, you're batting with Sachin Tendulkar, and he's another person who glitters, sometimes even brighter than gold. Sachin, why did you choose to associate with this exchange campaign by Tanishq?
It has always been about the things that I feel genuine. If it doesn't come from your heart, then somewhere you feel you're not on the same page. It doesn't work. So partnering with a trusted brand like Tanishq from the Tata Group for this exchange campaign just felt right. Felt we were on the same page and we could go forward together hand in hand.
What did you find most intriguing about this Tanishq exchange campaign, Sachin?
I was quite surprised to know from Ajoy that India imports almost all of its gold. And Tanishq is saying that this festive season, exchanging the gold you already have will reduce imports. So it's good for you as well as for a country. It's really, amazing. I really like the thought. Fantastic.
So let me bring in Mr. Chawla on that. What's in it for the customer? How does she benefit?
For the very first time ever, Tanishq is welcoming customers to bring in their old gold, no matter where they bought it from, no matter how long back. Even if it's 9 carats, they can come in and exchange their gold with full comfort and trust, with zero deductions, with no hidden charges, and where we'll give 100% value for the gold content in it. And they can do so very confidently in a Tanishq store, because we have the carat meter, we have a trained karigar, we have the melting facility across every one of our 500 stores in 300 cities. So this is a great opportunity for the customer to simply come in confidently and exchange their gold.
So everybody can exchange any carat gold bought from anywhere, and the whole country benefits from that.
Ajoy, how does this exchange fit into your business model?
See, exchange, by definition is a more expensive way for us to procure gold. There are many costs of reverse logistics, costs of processing, working capital which goes up. But despite that, we believe that it is the right thing to do. It's good for the customer and it's good for the country. And as regards the business model, Tanishq has actually been promoting exchange gold for several years now, for close to a decade. And so much so that we are the leading jeweler in the country when it comes to exchange share contribution. Close to 40% of our business today comes from this particular exchange process. We think that this enables customers to really come into the market, particularly now. Gold prices have really skyrocketed and many customers are wanting to buy gold jewelry during an auspicious period like festival or for a wedding. And many customers are hesitant or wondering what to do. So we believe this is the right thing to do, bring customers in, and we factored this into our business model. So in fact, we would love if we can increase this share to go from 40% to 50 or 60% in the future. It's good for everybody.
Well, thank you both Sachin and Ajoy, and season's greetings to all of you. Keep glittering.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
The situation is tensed but under control is what we are being told. Let's quickly go across to Arunima, who's joining us live from the newsroom with more details on that news story. Arunima, if you could take us through what is the Home Ministry's reaction? How is the government monitoring the situation?
Well, so top Home Ministry officials are speaking to the governor of, the Lieutenant Governor of Ladakh. Kavinder Gupta is in touch with the centre, and top Home Ministry officials are analysing the situation. This is what they tell me, that yes, the situation is tense, but it is not out of control. We are sending in, this is what Home Ministry tells me, that they are sending in 4 companies or 4 additional companies of ITBP to Leh, also 4 companies of CRPF which were deployed in Kashmir Valley. They are moving up the national highway as well and reaching Kargil, reaching Leh to ensure that the situation is fast brought under control. Like I told you, their analysis of the situation is, yes, it is tensed, but it can't be called as something which is out of control. Deployment of adequate forces on the ground, flag march by forces on the ground is expected to calm down, tempers and also force protesters to withdraw and get back home. They have been very aggressive. The BJP office there has been set on fire. They've been stone pelting continuously. But once the forces hit the ground and the flag march begins, perhaps there will be more deterrent. That's the analysis here in New Delhi. But they're constantly monitoring the situation. I think Home Minister could also get in touch with the Lieutenant Governor very soon. But top officials definitely are speaking to the local police there, as well as the Governor LG's office to offer whatever help is required, and in the meantime whatever political negotiations are needed to calm down tempers also are being initiated.
So, Arunima, over the past 3 years, Ladakh has been witnessing unrest, so to say. But today we are seeing this sort of situation quickly spiral out of control, especially the problem being that they do not want direct central control. They want control over their land, their resources, their culture. What has led to this spiraling out of the situation?
So let me take you back to August 5th, 2019. That was the day when Jammu and Kashmir was reorganized, when Ladakh was carved out as a special, separate union territory, separate from Jammu and Kashmir. That gave Ladakhis the hope that they will be able to move forward on the path of development faster than what it was when they were part of Jammu and Kashmir, because Srinagar was very distant from Leh, and there was a feeling in Leh and Kargil that the benefits of development were not reaching them because the political establishment was headquartered in Srinagar. So when August 5th, 2019 happened and this separate union territory status was given to them, there was a lot of hope. But very soon, the union territory demand turned to demand for protection under the 6th schedule. 6th schedule is the protection that you give to tribes where they get to decide their own political future. There's greater autonomy available to them. Also, demand for statehood gained momentum because they felt that with a lieutenant governor in place and a lieutenant governor ruling them instead of a chief minister, their aspirations were not getting addressed that the way they wanted to. Environmentalist Mr. Wangchuk led a delegation from Leh all the way up to Delhi. He marched down, he fasted here. There was some breakthrough in those talks and he went back. Then earlier this week, he went